In the last lab, we successfully configured Telnet on our switch, and we were able to remotely access our Cisco switch using the Telnet protocol. But wait a second, if you are allowed as a network engineer, will you be comfortable accessing your company's core switch while someone on the network or other person on the network could actually read or see your passwords and username? So now that's what we'll be solving in today's lab. So we actually configure SSH, a remote access protocol that is secure, that allows our passwords and username to be encrypted, so that even though while we access our switches over the network, they are not accessible or readable to people who have or will see them on the network. So today we are looking at configuring remote access on the Cisco switch. We'll explain what SSH is. Just like I said, SSH is a secured shell protocol that encrypts our login details. Then the next is why is it preferred over Telnet? It is preferred over Telnet because Telnet is not secured. Telnet is unencrypted, and since it's a plain, Telnet is plain, SSH is more preferred because it is encrypted and people will not have access to your login credentials. So now what we'll do now is we have a problem. We can remotely access our switch using Telnet, but Telnet sends our username and password in plain text, making it what? Insecured. So what's the solution? The solution to this particular problem is that we need to configure SSH so that all communications will be what? Encrypted. So what is being done now is enterprises no longer, or enterprise network no longer use Telnet protocol for remote access. What is actually being used is SSH. So today let's quickly move into configuring SSH on our switch. So just like we have done before, we go to our switch device and we drag the 29 switch, 60 switch, and we go to our end devices, we drag our PC on our workspace. Then we connect both of them using our straight through cable, fast Ethernet port 0 to fast Ethernet interface 0, 1. So we quickly open our switch and go to our like command line interface. We'll hit the enter. Just like we said earlier, enable allows us to get into our privilege mode or administrative mode. The next thing we'll do is get into our config mode or global configuration mode using configuration terminal or config T. Then now, before we would actually configure SSH, for us to be able to generate our key, our encryption key or our RSA key, we need our switch need to have a name. So we need to give our switch a name because selection your of your encryption key depends on the switch name too. So what we do now is very simple. We are going to use the command just like we have done earlier, hostname, and give our switch a name. So we are going to give it SSH lab 4, SSH lab 4. So our switch is now SSH lab 4. The next thing we'll do is very simple. Another thing that's important before we can generate our encryption key is giving our IP domain. So we need to create our IP domain name. IP domain. So we need to create a domain. IP domain name. So we'll give it an IP domain name of DSC Academy .local This is also important for us to be able to generate our encryption key. So this is the IP domain name we are giving to. So the next command is we need to create a username and a password for our switch that is local to our switch. So what we'll do, we use the command username. So our username will be DSC Academy. Then our password will be using secret. Our password will be Cisco 123. Then we've actually created our username and password that is local to the switch. So the next thing we'll do now is we can now generate our encryption key. So what we'll now do is simple. We'll use the command crypto key. Use the command crypto key generate RSA. Crypto key generate RSA. We hit enter. It asks us how many bits do we want. We will use 1024, and we'll hit enter. So we've actually generated an encryption key, and it has said okay. So the next command is we have to choose an SSH version. So the SSH version we are choosing is IP SSH version 2. So we are choosing the version 2 because it's more secure than version 1. So we are done with configuring the SSH. Next thing we'll do is, just like we have our virtual doors which will be used to remotely access the switch, we enter into our line VT. So we need to configure and say allow SSH, so 0 to 15. So we've entered into our virtual doors. So the next thing we'll do now is we say we want login to use the local password and username we have created. So that's why we say login local. So use the local username and password we've created to login. Then the next command is we only want to use, just like we did in Telnet, we only want to accept only SSH access, remote access. Only accept SSH access only. So that's why we use the transport input SSH command, and we'll hit enter. Then we can now do end. When we do end, we can now save our work. Copy. Remember, why we are saving our work is to ensure that we still have, even though our switch is reloaded or goes off and comes on again, our configuration is still intact. So copy running config, startup config. So this is the command you use to save your work. You hit enter again and you've saved your configuration to your switch. So after saving your configuration to your switch, remember that we also need to still give our switch a management IP. So what we'll do that is get into our config, then interface VLAN 1, then we'll give it an IP address of 192.168.10.3, .10.2, then subnet mask .225.225.0. we hit enter. Then the VLAN is administrative down, so we do no shutdown. So we hit enter, then we can now exit. So after exiting, we still need to save too, because we didn't do this before saving. So we still do the copy running config, startup config. So this command is used to save too. But we have to get out from this So exit. So it's going to be copy running config startup config. We hit enter again, then we are done with that. So the next thing we'll do is we move into giving our PC the IP. Remember, we used the IP we used there is we used, let's check, 192.168.10.2. That was the IP we used for our switch management IP. So the next thing we'll do is get into our PC and config IP configuration. We give it 192.168.10.3, default gateway of 192.168.10.1. So we are good to go. So let's ping our switch and see if there is connectivity first. So 192.168.10.2. Okay, so there's connectivity between our switch and our PC. So now the next thing we'll do is we verify if we can remotely access the switch using our SSH command. So we do SSH to verify, SSH -l. Then our username we created was DSC Academy. Remember to your username. Then our IP address of 192 that we give to the switch, 68.10.2. We hit enter. So it's requesting for a password. So our password will be Cisco 123. Wow, I've made a mistake on my password. Whoosh. Cisco. Okay. I need to use the right password. So now you see I'm having issue with my password because I have used the wrong password. So let's quickly confirm my password. Let's say show running config. Show running configuration. I want to confirm my password. Hostname, okay. Local. Oh, my password has been encrypted. So see why we use secret. Secret has encrypted my password. So now the only challenge I have in this lab is being unable to access this switch because I can't remember my password. So let's try it again. SSH. So it's to be Cisco 23. Still not getting it. Cisco. What password did I use? Alright, we'll have to stop here until I'm able to figure out my password. So I'm unable to know my password now. So that's why it's important to have your password. You see, I can't even access my know the password even looking at the configuration. So it has been encrypted. So we'll end here today. So what I would ask you to do is while you're actually doing your configuration, make sure you write your password down so that you don't forget yours as I did in my own case. Then the next thing again is that after this lab, we'll actually look at, in our next lab, look at switch port security. So look at switch port security. So that's the next lab. So all I want you to do is actually like and comment on what you've learned and what questions you have, and also subscribe to our channel if you want more of these videos coming up, of labs coming up on CCNA. So subscribe and turn on the notification button, and thank you for watching.